Hello again, Stove Minders, and thank you for watching / listening on this Friday, January 29th, 2021. We are in the hottest part of the stove, the MLB offseason. Lots of stuff to talk about, so let's get right to it. Starting off with a trade, because those are always fun. The Toronto Blue Jays are getting Steven Matz, left-handed pitcher, formerly of the New York Mets, and the Metis are getting 3 pitching prospects. I'll get to those guys in a couple minutes. So after signing Marcus Semien a few days ago, Blue Jays president Mark Shapiro said the heavy lifting was done, effectively taking Toronto out of the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes, with some space remaining in the rotation, speculation as to who they were going to go after, and enter Steven Matz, who you might remember took the league by storm in his first couple seasons. Now he's 29 years old, and his recent work is a lot less inspiring. Various arm injuries have made an impact. Since the start of 2019, Matz owns an ERA FIP in the 5s, a whip just under 1.4, thanks to a high amount of hits and hard hits. He's given up 41 home runs over the past 2 seasons, working as, something of a swingman for the Mets. Matz, of the Mets, formerly Matz, has 1 year left under contract at $5.2 million in salary, and he will slot into the back of a rotation that has Hyunjin Ryu and Nate Pearson getting it done. But Jays fans are probably not hyped about Robbie Ray, Tanner Roark, and now Matz taking care of most starts in the calendar. And for what Matz has done as of late, the fact that Mets got 3 young pitchers in exchange for him looks like it could be a wash. But who are these guys going in New York? Well, 2 of them are MLB ready. Talking about right-hander Sean Reed Foley, 25-year-old from Guam. Debuted in 2018, featuring as a so-so swingman over that time in Toronto. Reed Foley is under team control through 2026. And you also got right-hander Yency Diaz, a 24-year-old Dominican who cracks the Mets prospects rankings at number 30. Reed Foley is no longer eligible because he's had something about 3 years in the majors. Diaz had a cup of coffee himself in 2019, but missed all of last year to injury. Scouts like his mid-90s fastball and ability to miss bats. And there's also right-handed pitcher Josh Winkowski, a 22-year-old who has thrown his highest Class A advanced. Now the 26th best Mets prospect. Relatively low ceiling as a back-end starter or long reliever, but scouts like his maturity. The big league ETA of 2021. This year, really? Really? No. Whatever. I give this straight to the Mets regardless, unless Matz can really turn things around in 2021 and make an impact for the Jays. Because New York had depth in the pitching department, and they were able to turn it around for some futures, including 2 guys who could appear in their bullpen or should appear in their bullpen next year. Why did the Jays make this move, giving up so much for a questionable rental? I would say a rapidly depleting starting pitching market. Just ask right-hander Adam Wainwright, going back to the St. Louis Cardinals on a 1-year deal worth $8 million. A fitting reunion for Wainwright, who has spent his entire 15-year career in St. Louis. A franchise icon / fan favorite for sure, but he's also 39 years old. So how has Wainwright fared in recent years? The decorated starter hit a skid in 2016 when he led the league in hits allowed and earned runs. And after missing most of 2018 to injury, Wainwright is back on track. Since the start of 2019, he's thrown 237-plus innings, putting up a 3.91 ERA to a 4.29 FIP, 1.09 ERA+. He doesn't limit hard contact or command the ball in the same way he used to, but Wainwright is still in an adequate workhorse for the back of the Cards rotation, which will be without Dakota Hudson in 2021. So some opportunities there for maybe Carlos Martinez to get back in the rotation, or Alex Reyes, or Gant to make a breakthrough. We'll see. Compare the value here to the deals given to other similar starters like Jose Quintana or Garrett Richards or even Anthony DeSclafani, and I think everyone involved is happy. Good value for the Cards, maybe even a slight hometown discount had to be taken for Wainwright. Now attention turns to franchise catcher Yadier Molina. who is expected to sign in the next few days. Yadi has allegedly a 1-year contract on offer from St. Louis. Speaking of the Cardinals, the rumor mill's top miller, Kenny Rosenthal, reports that St. Louis and the Colorado Rockies have been discussing a trade for Nolan Arenado. That would be astounding, given that Arenado, the best all-around third baseman in baseball, is under contract for 6 more years with a salary currently at $35 million a year, only dipping as low as $27 million for 2026, which is the final year of his contract. Arenado also has a no-trade clause, which I'm sure he'll waive for the opportunity to play for an organization that can actually build a winner. A club that not long ago swung a mammoth trade for first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. I'm sure the Cardinals front office has the balls to pull this off, but do they have the money? $148.5 million in Lux Tax payroll at the moment. There is room for Arenado, even though it would push him up to $183 million, give or take, in payroll. And then the secondary question, and perhaps more important, is what would the return be here? Because, I mean, Arenado is supposed to be like a franchise player for the Colorado Rockies. They gave him that 8-year, $200 million contract. They better be asking for big stuff in return. So a situation worth monitoring, because Arenado has popped up in trade talks here and there, everywhere. Similar to like a Francisco Lindor before he got dealt, but there's so much time remaining in Arenado's contract, and with the amount of money there, this would be huge if it happens. Anyway, let's stick around in the NL Central. Let's talk Cubs. What's going on, Cubs cast? Yeah. Joc Pederson. Really? Let me get into this, okay? Outfielder Joc Pederson going to the Chicago Cubs, 1 year, $7 million with a mutual option, 2022. I have mixed feelings on this one, okay? Yes, it's nice that the Cubs are making a move that actually looks competitive. But after non-tendering Kyle Schwarber, only to sign an extremely similar hitter for just $2 million less, I don't know. Look, Pederson is a slugger, okay? 7-year career slash of, keep these numbers in mind here, 230, 336, 470. A nice OPS plus of 116. And he's cut down his strikeout rate over time. Good for him. But let's take a look at Schwarber's career slash on it. Okay, 6 years, 230, 336, 480. The exact same batting average and on-base percentage with a slight edge for Kyle in slugging percentage. And if you look at the OPS plus, Pederson actually has the edge there because Dodger Stadium's a little more pitcher-friendly. Now, obviously, numbers don't tell the whole story, and yes, if they're so close, then getting Joc at a slight discount is fine. But have you seen this guy's splits? Pederson, who bats left-handed, is a career 191 hitter against lefties with a 576 OPS, a huge weakness that's shared by Schwarber, who's marginally better in those situations, still a sub-200 batting average with about a 600 OPS against lefties. The one plus I'll give this move, because $2 million saved is nothing. I don't care how much money dumbass Rick gets lost. The one plus here is Pederson is an above-average left fielder, where he will see most of his time in Chicago, and Schwarber is, of course, a below-average left fielder. So that's cool. But allow me to reiterate once more. The Cubs have trotted out the same lineup for 3+ years, gotten the same result with this power-heavy, lefty-heavy lineup. And when they cut ties with Schwarber, opening the door to sign a player with a different profile, i.e. a contact hitter, some guy who can run the bases, something we need, something that Theo Epstein in the past said we needed, Jed Hoyer goes out and signs a guy who's exactly like the dude we got rid of. Some say the definition of insanity is trying to the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. Well, I call Jed Hoyer a lunatic. One last starter to talk about. Right-handed pitcher Masahiro Tanaka is indeed going back to Japan, to his old NPB team, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Tanaka spent 7 seasons in the majors, all with the New York Yankees, who, among other teams, tried to sign the 32-year-old this winter, but could not meet his demands for $15 to $20 million a year in salary. As a fantasy GM, I too would be remiss at such a high value for Tanaka, who's been a solid number 3 starter in the bigs, a 2-time All-Star, but in this market, with his kind of inconsistencies, as sayonara, Masahiro-san. I'm sure he'll be happy to go back to Japan. Reunions have been a big theme this winter, and this one's really going full circle. And you might be wondering, well, who is left in the free agency in total? Because the amount of moves that have happened in the last few weeks are just astounding. Semien gone, DeLemayhew, Springer, Brantley. Who's left, you may ask? Trevor Bauer, of course, Yasiel Puig, Marcelo Ozuna, Didi Gregorius, Justin Turner, though a lot of people are thinking he's just going to go back to LA. Likewise, Yadier Molina, a lot of people seem to be thinking he's just going to go back to St. Louis. Teams looking for a closer will probably be checking out Sean Doolittle and Alex Colomé. Yeah, still players available. Things ain't over yet, and things aren't over for the Yankees because they signed right-handed relief pitcher Darren O'Day to a 1-year contract, $2.5 million guaranteed, plus an option. O'Day is a veteran submarine-style pitcher, 38 years old, with 13 years in the majors, now onto his 6th ball club. O'Day is a quality middle reliever, career 576 innings pitched, a 2.51 ERA, a 3.43 FIP. Pretty consistent. A great ad for the Yankees after they traded Adam Ottavino to the Red Sox. And if you split the difference in salary, New York will have saved about $5.5 million while getting O'Day. His old team, the Atlanta Braves, bought out O'Day for $500,000 instead of paying him $3.5 million in 2021. So a bit of a pay cut, but he gets to stay on a contender. And that storyline of players having to take pay cuts to play in 2021 because of everything that went down financially in 2020 hasn't so much come to fruition. But I think now that we're getting into the sort of the lower to middle class of free agents, I think we're going to start to see more of that happening. Daniel Murphy retired. Murph, I will never forgive this guy for what he did with the Mets in 2015. What a beast. Great hitter. Bye-bye. Alex Avila signed a contract. He's going to the Nationals to back up Yan Gomes there. That's a veteran-heavy team in Washington. A lot of knowledge for Juan Soto and company. And that'll about do it for now. Stove minders, keep minding, keep shining.